correctly. And I'm already seeing what appears to be a bit of a bug. But I've got the Constellation Andromeda. That's definitely not the same scale as the Gemini. I believe it's not quite as long, but it's definitely a lot thinner. So it is the anorexic or malnourished Gemini. But this is going to be the kind of not starter, I should say. That's your intro into group space exploration and group missions. That's it. Cruise 5. You've got 2 gunner positions, and almost 3 flight positions, I would say. You've got your pilot, which sits in the center, and 2 secondary positions. They could be running weapons and shield systems, or whatever it ends up being towards game launch. I think it's too early to really figure out what those positions are going to come out doing. I am really concerned with whatever that graphical issue we're seeing at the base of this ship. But so that's it. We're going to go ahead and take this thing off, get it out into space a little bit, and then see if we can get some better shots of it. Get some better lighting before we really take a good look at the outside of the ship. But for now, this is the main way to heavy power plants. Yeah, something's going on there. But we're not going to worry about that because this is alpha. I doubt that will be there for when the game actually comes out. So this is the main crew entrance into the ship. This is what you'll most likely be jumping into. You'll come into this little entry area. It's got a few seats, some probably decorative storage areas. Not much there, but I believe these are going to be the storage lockers where you can switch from spacesuits to non-spacesuits. So it could have some really cool immersive stuff. I believe this is supposed to be a bathroom. And through these doors are the flight deck. Going back this way, before I go too far, you've got room for beds for your crew. I believe there's only 4 beds, unless I'm missing my counting. But and then I think these also may double as escape pods, but that might just be me hoping. I know the Gemini has the dedicated escape pods, whereas this one might not. And this is the big storage compartment. So the bottom of this bay actually goes down on hydraulics, and you could load stuff up and transport stuff here. You'll be able to see our missile bays. That's where those come from. On either side of this storage area are little escape / docking platforms, and there's also one on the roof, but I believe that's in that main section that we were just in. And other than that, I don't think there's much going on in these rooms. There's some indiscriminate panels, but I don't think there's much you can actually interact with. And then in this last section back here, this is the access area for the P-52 snub fighter that comes attached. This is where you'd be able to dock in it and take off. That is not implemented yet, but it's just sitting here looking pretty for now. Other than that, there's not much really going on in this area. So, but that's it for the general setup of the ship. If there's anything you'd want me to slow down at, take another look at, let me know in the comments. Be like, oh my god, you missed this thing. Or wait, there's the power plant that you can use to self-destruct the ship. We might want to look at that, but I don't know. So that's it. And then now this is the flight deck. Again, some what seem to be fairly indiscriminate panels. And that's where the 2 turret positions are. So that's it. They enter from the same area. That's it. You come up to this air place and you hit F. And I'll go ahead and do that now. That's it. Look up while hitting F, and that will bring up the top turret seating position. And that will come down. You sit in the chair, and it will pull you back up into position. The turrets won't really operate without a pilot in the seat, I believe. But this is how you'd be able to get into the top one. Look around, shoot, kill all everybody's. And then I can drop back down by holding F. And that's it, head right back out. And then once I'm out, that's it, I can go back, spin. Oh, we broke the game a little bit. That was a nice chunk of lag. All right, so head back, look down, and interact. And the bottom seat will come up. That's it. It didn't spin around like on the Gemini, so it's not an inverted turret position. That's it. You'll be faced just the same as everybody else. And you'll see this turret position has a lot more limitations. That being where your legs are. That's it. So you can't see anywhere near as much. But that's it. There's still 360 degree. That's it. You can get some shots on anyone who might be chasing you, depending on how well you're coordinating with your pilot. Definitely room for a lot of fun. And so we hold F to get right back out of there. And now we've got the, I guess, flight positions. And the center is the pilot. When we get to there, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Okay, so now we're back out on the ship. The center here, that is the pilot / possibly captain. We'll see how that goes. I guess it could designate however you want. And to the left and right, both of these stations can be configured to switch the, I guess, auxiliary menus. I'm not sure if they will come up, that's it, without a pilot in the pilot seat. I don't believe they do, but we're going to be a little hopeful here. So that's it. This will be the right seat we're jumping into now. And once we get loaded up on here. Okay, good. The panels do come up. So this one, by default, shows the panel for shields. I hit Z to free look, and I can actually switch panels to power distribution. That's at the, I guess, just a big payload screen and different weapons. So all four of these menus are available to both the left and right seat. So the two positions can be interchangeable. They might not have to be dedicated to one thing. It could just depend on your crew makeup. So hold F, get out of this chair. I'm not going to jump into the left seat because they do both currently show the same thing. I guess that could change by the time we go live. But I'm not thinking it will. I like that they can be interchangeable. And then last we've got the pilot seat. So you go into there, chair spins around. And then you take a very comfy sit down, and you'll be able to pilot this thing out. So we'll take this out, reposition around, get some sun, get a better look on the outside of the ship. And, well, now that I think about it, this could be a little interesting because now I'm set up with dual joysticks. So I'm going to have to remember how I've got this mapped up. You see the shield starting to recharge a little bit, and I believe how it's set up is my left stick. If I twist it to the right, we should start pulling off.
Complete.
Yeah. Awesome.
Stand by. Scanning.
So that did work.
Stand by. Scanning.
And I believe this will be to disable my landing gear. Awesome. But this isn't really a video of me showing that I know how to work my joysticks that I set up. So let's just get taken off here. Get a little boost action. Head out to the sun.
Stand by. Scanning.
And now we're away from the... There we go. That's a little faster. Alright. So now we'll let that die off. Actually, we should be able to just space brake. Drop that down. And for now, let's position this just slightly nose down. And that should get some good lighting on the top of the ship, and tilt a little that way. There we go. That should get us a good view. So now we can head out. The ship's going to power down. And we can actually head out into space. So for that, let's try and see if we can actually get some use of those other small airlocks. I've had a lot of issues getting through these, but hopefully it goes all right. So we'll head out this airlock here. It opened and then closed again. Try it one more. And we'll see if we can get it to open. Oh. Maybe. Oh no, super broke it. There we go. And we're in space. So that is the, I guess, right side airlock. I'm not too keen on my port and starboard yet. I always get them confused, but I'm going to have to get those memorized later on in game. So now as we come around, we've got a little better lighting on this thing. Oh, that is just a beautiful looking ship. This one, I think I equate kind of, a lot of people will tell you that Freelancer ties to Firefly. I like this one a little better. It just seems closer to the right number of crew. But that gets more into the, I guess, role-playing aspects and that kind of stuff. But just a really, really good look to this ship. It looks very industrial. But still futuristic. So I'm excited about that. And I was going to go into that top turret, but before I do, let's come around the other side of this thing. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's just pretty. Got Port Olisar in the background. Not sure how to take off that icon that shows the when I drive it. Where's that? That'd make for a much better image, but that is still not too shabby as it stands. Yes. That's just a sight that makes me happy. So now if we jump in here, we've got these side bays going up. See if we can get back in through this hatch. I'm not going to promise anything. But I will hope for the best. Oh, no. Do you believe? I believe. Oh, I'm dying. Gravity seems to have taken effect on this panel. Okay. Yup. We're just gonna bounce out of there. I'm not even going to attempt to keep going with that one. But so that is the top airlock, which I don't think is going to cater towards, I guess, player entry very well. So for now, what we'll do is, I guess, go through, see if we can see the storage panel access port. It's probably going to be fairly dark, being on the other underside, not facing the sun, but okay, that's not too bad. So if we come right up in here, this is that bigger loading bay. There we go. I think that got it. Maybe. Definitely hit F. Do you believe? Ah, there we go. You just have to believe. Alright, so that storage bay just comes down on hydraulics. It makes for a really flat platform. If you're landing on a planet's surface, I believe you saw in the, what was it, the Homestead demo. That was the Andromeda Aquila, which is very similar to this ship. And I don't know if it will have a, oh, that was nice, a unique loading bay that's to fit the rover. But I'm very hopeful that we'll actually be able to just buy the rover, load it up in this ship, and take it out. And then once you get all loaded up, room pressure. Oh shoot! I thought I hit the ladder. I did not hit the ladder. Okay. Well, that was annoying. So what we'll do, let's see if we can just float up here. Nope. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh, we got all the dice. Little less than perfect, but now we're up in here. Another fun issue with this being alpha. So let's see if we could actually use the ladder this time. Ah, good, we are. Okay, so we head up here, and we're going towards the back of the ship where the P-52 is. So we'll try and get spun back around. Seeing a little more lag. Something must be going on with this server. I've not been paying attention to chat. They could be talking about it. I don't know. So that's it. Let's get back in the pilot seat. Did my ship get bumped? That's it. Weird. Floating around. That could have been ended up being a lot more helpful than what we're dealing with now. Although I'm wondering if maybe just me trying to get back into the ship gave us the issues that we're having now. But I'm just going to try and get one more positioning this time where we've got the sun on the belly.
Stand by for repeat.
And then get out one more time if anyone's interested in seeing the underside of the ship. If anything, that it'll give you a much better indication of where the, I guess the passenger and cargo entrances are. So that's, I'll go back out the passenger access port here. And that's it, yeah, EVA mode kicks on fairly easily. So now I can squeeze right out of there. Let's see, there's that bottom turret. They've gotten people a little disoriented, I'm sorry. And this is a view from the bottom. So now you can see the flight deck, the bottom turret, the passenger compartment, the cargo compartment, and you can get a much better view of how that P-52 is attached to this ship. You can get a view of the bottom hard-mounted guns. And yeah, that's how she goes. So yeah, once again, if there's anything that you think I missed that you'd want to see, get a better look at, that's it, feel free to let me know in the comments. That's it, I'd be happy to put out another video showing you guys what this ship is all about. Want to see it in combat? Want to see me crash into Olisar? That's it. Whatever it may be, that's it. It'll be interesting. That's it. I was out the other day with some other players, and they were wondering what would happen if, I believe it was like 40 missiles hit a Gemini or something like that. It was a really interesting one, but that's it. I will be more than happy to experiment for science. So with that, all right, you guys have a good one.